All right, welcome to our lesson on function notation. All right, so function notation is a way of representing functions algebraically. F of x equals 3x minus 4. That x represents the inputs, and then the 3x minus 4, the f of x equals y, or your output values. When we read this is read f of x, and this is important that you understand it, does not mean multiply, f of x, which means the output values of the function f when the input value is x. Note, f of x does not mean f times x. Other letters can be used other than f to name the function. For example, we can use g of x, we can use h of x, okay? So write this down, this is function notation. All right, the ordered pair 1, negative 2 written using function notation is f of 1, because remember this is x, this is y. So it's f of x equals y. So f of x, f of 1 equals negative 2. F of x equals y. Given a set of ordered pair, fill in the blank. So if we have f of 0, so that means that x is 0, what's the y value? So go ahead and look. We're looking at the x values. Remember, this is x, this is y, x, y, x, y, x, y. So f of 0, that means you're looking for an x of 0, and the y value is 3. So there you go. F of blank equals 5. So that means they're looking for a y value of 5. So here's my y value of 5, and it just happens f of 3 equals 5. 3 just happens to be there as well. Okay, so that's how we use function notation when we're looking at ordered pairs. The values in the table represent a function. Negative 2, 1 written using function notation is, go ahead and give this a try, pause the recording. Welcome back. So I would say f of x, which is negative 2, equals y. So equals 1. That's function notation. Now it says f of x equals negative 2 when x is blank. So that means the y value, this is our y value, is negative 2. All right, so our y value is negative 2. So look at your y values. When y is negative 2, here it is. What's our x value? Our x value is 4. So there you go. So we use function notation to help us find things in tables and also on graphs. All right, so let's take a look. The graph below represents a linear function. What is f of 1? What is f of negative 1? And what is f of blank equals 1? Go ahead and pause the recording and give it a try. All right, welcome back. F of 1, so that means this is 1, the x value is 1. What's the y value? F of 1 is 3. F of negative 1, that means the x value is negative 1. What's the y value? The y value is 5. F of negative 1 is 5. And then it says f of blank equals 1. So they said the x value is 1. The y value, sorry. The y value is 1. What's the x value? So you're looking for when the y value is 1. What's the x value? The x value is 3. So f of 3 equals 1. Okay, so when they give you the y value, that means you're looking at the y-axis, right? And so look at the y-axis. All right, I hope this function notation makes sense. If it doesn't, rewind, backtrack, watch it again, and ask your teacher questions. All right, we also need to know how to evaluate linear functions. Okay, so this is a video. It says to evaluate a function, substitute the given input value x into the function. Then simplify. So we have evaluate the function f of x equals 4x plus 7 for x equals negative 3. So that means I'm going to say f of negative 3 equals 4 times negative 3 plus 7. Okay, I can actually just put this in my calculator, or you can work it out. I'm going to work it out, but you can put that in your calculator. 4 times -3 is -12 plus 7. -12 plus 7, they're different. One is positive, one's negative, so I'm going to subtract and take the highest. I'm going to say, so we know our answer is going to be negative because 12 is bigger than 7. But 12 minus 7 is 5. So it's going to be -5 is our answer. All right. If you had a calculator, you can also do it on your graphing on your calculator. And so calculator, not saying things right. So 4 times -3, close parentheses, plus 7. And there's your answer right here, -5. Okay. Here's another one. It says evaluate the function for f of -7. All right, so they're already telling you the x value is -7 equals 3 minus 2 times -7. All right, so again, -2 times -7 is going to give you a positive 14. 14 plus 13 is 17. Or you could get your calculator and put it in there, right? So 3 minus, and if you get confused with your positive and negative, use your calculator. And there you go, 17. Now your turn, but this one's a little different. When f of x is equal to 9, so they're not giving you the x value, they're giving you the y value. So let me get you guys started with this one. Instead of, it says f of x equals 8x plus 25 for f of x equals 9. So that means I'm going to say 9 where the f of x is equals 8x plus 25, and you are solving for x. All right, so that means you want to get x by itself. Go ahead and work that out. All right, so to solve, I'm going to subtract 25 from both sides. Nine minus 25. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do some math here. Use my calculator. 9 minus 25. I get -16. Very nice. So -16 equals 8x. And I'm going to divide both sides by 8. X is equal to -2. And that's our answer here. All right, so that is function notation, evaluating function notation. Now let's talk about how do we build a function from a word problem. So Mount Eglis has an aerial gondola that carries visitors up and down the mountain. Okay, that's fancy. At the top of the mountain, the gondola reaches an elevation of 9,100 feet. On the way down, the gondola descends at a rate of 240 feet per minute. You can use a function to describe the elevation of the gondola X minutes after it starts descending. Write an equation to represent the function. Now, you don't necessarily have to understand all of what's happening here with Mount Ellis and this aerial gondola. But it says at the top of the mountain, the gondola reaches an elevation of 9,100 feet. And then it starts descending at a rate of 200 feet per minute. Okay, so the right function notation, this is a linear function, f of x equals mx plus b. So what we need to know is the slope, and it's descending, so that means it's going to be minus 240 feet per minute because it says descends at a rate. So whenever I see that rate, I know that's my slope. And then my height, it starts at 9,100 feet. So to build it, I'm just going to say f of x equals -240x plus 9,100. And that's my answer right there. The end. There you go. We can also build a function from a table. Write an equation to represent the function in the table below. So we're going to say f of x equals mx plus b. Okay? Well, first we need to figure out the slope. Okay? Now to find the slope, we're going to use y sub 2 minus y sub 1 all over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay, so we pick 2 points on the table. This is x sub 1. This is x sub 2. This is y sub 1. This is y sub 2. So this is the first point. This is the second point. So when I plug it in, I'm going to say y2, which is negative 66, minus y1, which is negative 73. Notice that there are 2 minuses here. Negative 66 minus negative 73. All over x2, which is negative 8, minus, and then negative 9. I'm going to go ahead and use my calculator for this. No need to do all that by hand when we can work smarter, not harder. Oops. All right, so I'm going to put parentheses around my numerator so I make sure it stays there. Negative 66 minus negative, and then that's 73. I'm going to close parentheses again, then say divided by, that's how I know it's going to my denominator. And then negative 8 minus, and then parentheses, negative 9, and then close parentheses. And I get a slope of 7. So I know my slope is 7. Okay? Now what I don't know, so I'm going to say f of x equals 7x plus b. I do not know what my y-intercept is, but I can choose a point on my graph and plug it in and figure it out. F of x equals 7x plus b. Oops. So I'm going to choose a point. I'm going to choose any point on here. I'm going to choose this one because it's smaller. So for f of x, I'm going to say negative 45 equals 7 times the x, which is negative 5, plus b. Okay, so 7 times negative 5 is negative 35 plus b, and bring down that negative 45. And then I'm going to add 35 to both sides so I can get the b by itself. All right, so again, this is negative 45 equals negative 35 plus b. And I'm going to add 35 to both sides. And then I'm going to say b is equal to negative 10. All right, so b is equal to negative 10. So now my function is f of x equals 7x minus 10. And that's how I build it. Guess what, though? There's a shortcut with your calculator. I know you guys are like, well, why didn't I show it to you first? Because I need you to know how to do it like this. All right, here's a shortcut with your calculator. Make sure you're on a graphing calculator. All right, pay attention to the shortcut. I'm going to click the plus arrow. All right, everyone see I click the plus? Let me get my annotation tool and get the spotlight. So again, in my graphing calculator, I click the plus and I'm going to choose a table. And I'm going to enter the values of my table. So I have negative 9, then I have negative 8, negative 7, negative 6, negative 5. Those are my x values. My y values, I have negative 73. Then enter, I'm going to say negative 66. Enter negative 59. Enter negative 52. Enter negative 45. Okay? If you wanted to zoom out to actually see where the points are, there it is. Okay, so those, make sure you put it in correctly. User error is very common. Now, do you guys see this little thing right here that popped up? If you hover over, it's going to say add regression. So it's really small. You got to pay attention. It's right here next to the number. Click on that. You want a linear regression, and there is your equation. Y equals 7x minus 10. Did you guys see that? I hope you paid attention to that shortcut. Rewind, rewatch. I just showed you how you could build a function from a table without having to do any math. Just put it in your graphing calculator. And there you have it. Okay? So again, to recap, you click the plus arrow, you add a table, you enter the values in your table. When you do that, it's going to, that little thing up here is going to pop up. It says add a regression. You're going to click on it. You want a linear regression, and it'll give you the table. And there you have it. 7x minus 10. All right. I want you to go ahead and give these a try, and I'm going to go and do another. Actually, we could do it right now. Go ahead and do this. Seed to Meal Inc., a local agricultural organization, is starting a new community garden. The organization will charge community members an annual fee of $25 to rent a plot. You can use a function to describe the total amount of money Seed to Meal Incorporated will earn each year from renting X plots. Go ahead and pause the recording and answer that. And welcome back. Let's go ahead and get it. All right. And so it charges an annual fee. So it charges an annual fee of $25 annual fee to rent a plot. You can use a function to describe the total amount of money Seed to Meal will earn each year from renting X plots. Okay? So this one's actually very simple. F of X equals 25 times X. It doesn't say how many, it's not starting off with any money, so it's just renting plots. So F of X equals 25X. There you go. That's how much money you earn. All right, here's another one. Write an equation to represent the function table below. I'm going to go ahead and use our shortcut, because why not? Go ahead and pause the video. Try doing this yourself on your calculator. All right, welcome back. You're going to click the plus arrow, click table. And then you're going to enter in your X values, -7, -6, -5, 4, -3. My Y values are 50, 43, 36, 29, 22. There we go. Make sure to pay attention to user error. I'm going to hover over this add regression right here. And there's my equation. Y equals -7x plus 1. Y equals -7x plus 1. There it is. The end. Now, for those of you who are like, I need to see you work this out. I need to see this by hand. All right, we could do it by hand if you want. Again, let's choose, I want to choose smaller numbers. So x1, y1, x2, y2, right? My slope is y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Plug it in. M is equal to 22. That's y sub 2 minus 29 all over -3 minus -4. All right, I don't actually have to put this in my calculator because I know that 22 minus 29 is going to give me -7. And -3 minus -4 is going to give me +1. So I already know that the slope is there. And then you would plug it in. So, and we're doing function notation, so this should be f of x. Sorry. F of x equals -7x plus 1 for function notation. But again, if I was plugging it in, y is equal to -7x plus b. And then you would choose a point, and I would choose that last point, 22. equals -7 times -3 plus b. Sorry, my handwriting sucks on here. So 22 equals positive. Wait. -27 minus 3 is going to give me a positive. Did I do that right? My y value is 22 minus equals -7 times my x value, which is -3. It's going to be a positive 21 plus b. Well, that's interesting. Did I do that right? Y value 22, x value is -3. Oh. I'm going to subtract 21. Oh, yeah. Subtract 21 from both sides. Sorry. I was doubting myself. And that's a 1 equals a b. So b equals 1. And that's what we have for our y value. So if you wanted to see it by hand, that's cool. But you can use it with your calculator. All right. That is our lesson on function notation. Thanks and have a great day.